Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about my breast augmentation. Dun, dun, dun. If you didn't know, now you know. So before we get in the video though, make sure you subscribe down below and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. This is going to be more like a story time, my experience, what's going on, and my thoughts about the breast implant illness going on right now. To begin, what was I in, like 6th grade? I have always wanted boobs. I insert Austin Powers clip.
Like a parrot.
Melons! Big, juicy melons!
Are they nice and firm?
Well, what do you think?
Those remind me of boobs.
Boobs, Ozzy.
These
Boobs. My entire life. I have an older sister who had huge boobs growing up, okay? I'm the middle and I have a little sister. My older sister has huge boobs, my little sister has a big butt. I was kind of just like a thick stick, put it on that way, okay? And it's always across my mind all the time. So let's fast forward a little bit. 6th grade, now we're in college. I think I was a freshman. 2016, I was a sophomore in college, 2nd year. Thinking, I'm financially in a good place. I live with my dad at my dad's house. I have no bills. And I still work 4 or 5 days a week right now in college, even though I'm not paying any rent. I just love to work. And I'm like, this is a perfect time to get a breast augmentation. And my job at the time, shout out American Beagle Outfitters, that's what I call it. And my boss had just gotten her boobs done. And I was like, oh my God, where did you get them done at? And so she had a whole recommendation. And I always kept that in the back of my mind. So it was December. So I was at Ricky's house back when I was in college, and the lady who married us, her name was Iris, by the way. I was telling Iris, I was like, damn, I really want to get my boobs done. And she was like, oh my God, you should do it. So basically from that conversation, I reached out to my old boss. I said, who did your boobs again? She told me it was here in San Diego, and I got a $500 discount by going through her referral, which was awesome. So I booked the appointment myself. And this was probably around like January-ish. I went and I had a consultation with, and his name is Dr. Pousti, by the way. It used to be down in La Mesa. I'll have to insert his information here in a minute. But went down to La Mesa, had a great appointment. From friends, it was like, oh, go to multiple doctors, go see this. I only went to Dr. Pousti. I walked in, I loved everybody in his office. I remember the lady who helped me, her name was Daisy. She's phenomenal. And everyone in the office had work done by him, and not like crazy lips, like, you know, not that. Like everyone had their boobs done or like liposuction or whatever. So I thought that was cool because his actual clients are there and still continue to work for him. So that's something that I really liked. And Dr. Pousti himself is like a 5 foot tall little Egyptian man, double board certified, super awesome, didn't make you feel gross about your body. And that's the biggest thing when you go to these plastic surgeons. From my friend, had her nose done, a rhinoplasty, and my stepmom has had her boobs done, I think 2 times, shout out apes. So I've heard stories though about doctors, you know, oh, you should have done this and you should do this, and by the way that looks, you know, and you feel like shit. I mean, you are in the office, like shirt off, the whole thing, and you're looking at yourself like, oh my God. And you don't want anyone to pick apart your body or you more than you do, you know? And he didn't do that. It was a really cool experience. They had like a 3D video where they would like use your body, but then like, you know, expand your boobs so you could see like what size looked best on you. And I remember when she gave me like a 500cc implant, she's like, oh, this will probably be good, but that's probably the max. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, it's probably the max. So funny story, my implants themselves, I believe, are 550 cc's, but they are filled to 750 cc's and 780 cc's. That is like borderline porn star size boobs, which is obviously, you look at me and it just fits my frame. When you're like, this is like my story, but also just like an opinion. When you're in the office, don't decide on like a number of cc's. You want to go with what looks best for your body frame. So maybe like you're like, I want 300, but really you only need 100, like something like that, you know? Because in my brain, I'm like, oh, I only want 500 max. But that would have looked terrible. I would have got out of surgery and gone, what the did I pay for, you know? So that's one little caveat to my story. Let's flash back back to the appointment. I leave the appointment, I fucking love it. I call the next day to book. And when you book, you have to put the deposit down for the surgery. So I booked my surgery for March 22nd. It was spring break of my sophomore year at college. And I remember I was like so nervous, I was so scared, but it's one of the best decisions I ever made for myself. As a female and wanting to feel like a woman, it was just the best thing I ever did. And my opinion or advice for other people looking that want to get their boobs done, their breasts done, don't tell anybody. I had so many people like, that's the worst thing you could ever do. I would never do that. Just because you would never do it doesn't mean that I would never do it. You know, and just because you had a bad experience doesn't mean I'm gonna have a bad experience. I remember my one friend at work, it was just me and her, and she's like, "Stevie, this is gonna be the worst decision." It's the best decision I have probably ever made for myself. As a woman, as a female, the confidence you get, it's not these like huge, crazy watermelon titties you see on Instagram. They just fit my frame. You probably wouldn't know that I had fake boobs until I told you I had fake boobs, because my frame, I'm about 5'8.5", I weigh about 175 pounds, and I have a bigger frame, and I have a very wide chest. So I had pretty much nothing before. Like I was probably like a B, I think I was actually a C, but not a full C. What I was looking for when I went to the doctor was fullness. I wanted a little side boob and the whole action. And going through with that surgery was 100% for myself. I remember the doctor asking me, "Is there anyone you're doing this for? Are you doing this for your boyfriend?" Fuck no. If I was single, I would have taken advantage. I would have done the same thing. I have no regrets for my surgery, the size, anything. In fact, it's 2022, 2016 I got them, so they are what, 6 years old now, and it's the best thing that I ever did for myself. So that's a little bit about my story with my breast implants. Of course, at first, you know, you're like, oh my god, huge, but it's honestly the best thing that you can do for myself. And oh, another thing people say is, just wait till after you have kids. I'm not gonna enjoy my life after I have kids or wait to. I'm gonna do it now. I have the finances and the time, and the situation couldn't have been more perfect. So I took advantage of my opportunity, and I did it. Best thing ever. Which leads me into the next statement. Also I got saline. I did not get silicone. I wasn't old enough to get an FDA approved silicone, so I was old enough to get an FDA approved saline. And I will say I'm really glad that I made that decision, because if one pops, it's salt water. It's not silicone coming out of your body. And I know there's a bunch of different implants nowadays, but I would still get saline in the future. I'm not gonna switch to the other ones. It's just my personal preference, which leads me into the breast implant illness. Now, as you've seen on YouTube, back when, this must have been 2015, everybody and their mom had a freaking boob job who was a fitness influencer on YouTube. Like, holy, everyone, breast implant, breast implant, breast implant. And a lot of those same girls have gotten them removed since. Now, I see what has happened. A lot of them ruptured, a lot of them had hormonal problems, but I always look at it in a whole, and some people that I see took them out and are still depressed, are still sick. So I haven't had any issues with mine, so I'm not going to get them removed. But I have seen other people's, and that is their own experience. I totally believe in breast implant illness and freaking everything. Holy crap, you're putting you're putting a foreign substance in your body. You could have complications or you could not. So you're taking that risk when you do get these, but you also take that risk when you get Botox. You also take that risk when you do other things in life, you know. They can always be explanted. But for me overall, my health has not declined since getting them, maybe because I got the saline ones, and versus a lot of these women got silicone ones. That would be my only kind of If I did start developing symptoms, I would go to a naturopathic doctor. I'd get my hormones checked. I haven't talked about it on here, but I had thyroid cancer when I was 9, so I've had my hormones checked my entire fucking life. I take thyroid medication, it's on that counter. I've taken it since I was 9 years old. So I've dealt with all those ups and downs of life, and if I notice that again, I know where to go to get that shit checked out. that's a very much caveat too to the story. I'll get into that in more detail later in life, but to wrap up my breast augmentation story, three things. Don't listen to other people when it comes to it. You do what you want to do for yourself. Second, it's not about the physical, oh my god, she's so sexy. It's the confidence you get from feeling your best. 100%. Best thing I ever did for myself. When girls come up to me and ask me, or women, anybody, if they notice, I'm like, best thing. You want to feel? There we go. It is the best thing that you could, in my opinion, that I ever did for myself. That's my experience, but I just wanted to share it with you guys. And third, go to a doctor that you really are comfortable with and the staff you're comfortable with. 100%. Even my good friend Ashley went to the same doctor, I think a couple years after I got mine done. Still a great experience. I went with her, did the whole thing again, and absolutely love that office. So that doctor again is Dr. Pousti, Tom Pousti, and he used to have an office down in La Mesa, but I think he has his like a merged group called MD Faces now. I'll link it down below. But it was one of the best things that I ever did for myself, and I have no regrets about it at all. And they are 6 years old now, and they are sisters, not twins. I love that. That's what Dr. Pousti used to say to me. And I recommend it for yourself if that's something that you're looking into. If you're comfortable and you don't feel the need, not necessary. This video is not for you. But if you're looking for someone just to kind of validate your feelings, I'm here for you. If you have any questions, please ask them down below. I have done the process myself. I have been there as a friend taking care of someone else who got it. So any questions, just link them down below or comment down below. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So thanks for watching and getting all the way to the end of my video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. All right, bye guys.